Send a thank you note to 3 people who you feel led to that have helped you through grief. I wanted to add some practical application to this for you. If you're going through grief right now, you know that there's just so much going on in your heart and mind in this new normal, and it's hard to process. And you might be getting all kinds of messages and cards and people stopping over. One of the things that I did that was really helpful to me was during this time when I received so many notes and calls of encouragement and hope, but I couldn't quite process them in my heart because my mind was just racing with the reality of the trauma that had happened to me. And so what I did was everything that came to me, I put into a manila envelope, a large envelope, whether it was an email message, a card that came in the mail, a little note on a flower delivery, and I simply tucked everything away in this manila envelope. Now, believe it or not, for me, it was almost a year later that I came upon this big manila envelope. I was, coming out of now various stages of grief, and I began to read all of these messages. And I have to tell you, I am so grateful that I kept every little card, every little note, because even though for me it was almost a year later, it was the perfect timing for me to receive. My heart was open. It was like it was planting new seeds of hope and encouragement within me. Now, for you, it may be a month, it may be 3 months, it may be 6 months. There is no proper time to say when you are able to really process all of these amazing pieces of encouragement that God is sending your way. But if you can, a practical application would be to just keep something, whether they're in a container or in a manila envelope like I did. I just know it will bless you at the right time. In fact, I remember one particular letter that had been sent to me, and I obviously read it at the time of my grief, but it was when I read it months later and I saw the woman and I said to her, "You have no idea how those words ministered to me in the present, months after my trauma, and really truly showed me God speaking to me through her letter." So I think that's a really practical application for you to do. The other piece that I want to say today that for those of you that are not in grief and you got your box and you were like, oh, I wanted something encouraging, why grief? I just want to tell you something, again, from my own experience. Usually, when you're going through something hard, there is the expected group of people that will come around you, your family, your friends, your church community, your inner circle, and they will provide the most amazing strength and covering and grace to you during this time. But I want you to know there is another group of people, and I call them the unexpected angels, that God uses and raises up that truly show you God's intimate relationship with you and his personal care. One in particular for me was I received a knock on my front door, and it was a man who owned a landscaping company. And he told me that he had felt led to bring over this beautiful bush that he wanted to plant in memory of my son on my property. And in fact, to this day, that was the beginning of our memory garden to our son. And I didn't even know this man. That was the imprint of God's loving hand on my heart. Another thing that comes to mind was a neighbor who I only knew in passing. I really didn't know her well. And one day I opened my door and there was like 3 months of chicken noodle soup in individual containers and a beautiful note. As we know, chicken soup is soothing to the soul. And again, this was an unexpected knock on my door, something that was left. And I see those unexpected visitations as the very hand of God showing his intimacy. So if you got your box and you're like, oh, I'm not in grief, I can't wait till next month when it's an uplifting theme, I want to tell you, be an unexpected angel to someone. Look at what is in the box and pray about who God might be putting in your path that you may not even know real well, but he's nudging your heart to use the stuff that came in the box and be his hands and feet to somebody who might truly need that encouragement. God is a God of perfect timing and intimacy and purpose. And so the fact that you have that box, He's saying to you, use the stuff that's in it for somebody else. Pray about that. Have eyes to see and ears to hear. And I guarantee you, you will become that unexpected link of hope and support to someone that would have never maybe crossed your path, or you would have never had the opportunity to put a blessing upon their life like you do now in this month of March. And so that is what I have for you. I know that grief is a hard topic, but it's something that sooner or later, just being a part of this lower world, we're all going to experience. So I just thank you that, I have this opportunity to share these insights with you. And I know that God is going to use you to bless someone's life and to plant a seed of hope and encouragement in their hearts. God bless you.